I wonder how many subscribers I'll lose with this one. Some people might not be happy. I think most people, just judging from what I've seen, will be okay with it. But hi everybody, I'm Dawn. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for visiting with me today. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. It really helps me out. We do all kinds of things here on the cutting board. We do true crime, we do SFX makeup, current events, DIY crafts, food content, hauls, vlogs, and Disney content. I have a lot of interest and I want to share them with you. So this one is going to be something. But before I get started, I want to say, don't unalive people. Even, greedy CEOs of corrupt multi-billion-dollar money-making machines, that get rich off of sick people. Even those people. I shouldn't have to say that, but, people are pissed. People are mad. And with good reason. And most of us, wouldn't go to these extremes, but some would. And, killing people is wrong, but insurance companies don't seem to realize that or don't care. So, So are you surprised at the lack of sympathy the CEO of United Healthcare has gotten? I'm not surprised at all. Usually I would be appalled at the hateful comments that this man is getting, or the UHC is getting. But I truly understand the reasons why. And it goes so much deeper than an unaliving. People aren't speaking horrible lies about this man. They're not speaking horrible lies about him. The health insurance industry has profited off of making sure people don't get the care they need to survive. We're now expected to weep for a greedy corporate beast who thrives off of the less fortunate. A wolf. He's a wolf. A wolf whose job it is to take money from you and make you feel like your health care will be covered when, a medical issue arises. He was the Gestapo. And, don't celebrate the killing of an innocent man. He's a serial killer. Innocent? Innocent, really. The only reason these CEOs of health insurance companies, want you to live is so that they can keep collecting your premium. They stall on claims and pre-authorizations purposefully, waiting for you to die. And if you don't believe that, I'm sorry, you are a fool. You are. When you die, they'll just find someone else to get that product, that premium from, and we'll pay it. We'll pay it because most doctors won't see you if you don't have this, this amazing insurance. And I'm sorry that his children lost their father, but at least they'll never, have to choose between paying for a medical procedure that, despite what the insurance company says, is medically necessary, or paying their mortgage, which is more important. The more they pay out for health care, the less money they being the insurance companies make. Every single person I know has a horror story, some more than one horror story about lack of care because of insurance companies, denying claims, legitimate claims, as medically unnecessary. Health insurance CEOs give themselves big, fat, huge raises and big, fat, huge bonuses every year. And they raise premiums every year. I'm surprised this doesn't happen more often. Honestly, I really am. Brian Thompson, the United Healthcare CEO, who was shot down in the eyes of many, he was a murderer. who finally got the death penalty. He finally got, his just sentence, or his just sentence. The shooter, he was the executioner. He was the executioner that carried out the punishment. And that is how most people, as far as I see, are looking at this. Now, a lovely supporter of mine sent me Walter Masterson's video where he interviews a woman claiming to be an employee of United Healthcare. And it's possible it's an act. It does look a little staged, but it's very interesting, I think. So I'm going to include the link in the description of this video for you to check out if you're interested in that. And in the video, he says, and I've read this other places, he says the assassin wrote deny, delay, and depose on the shell casings. But there is some discrepancy. There's some saying that the casing said delay, deny, defend. At any rate, this was likely a reference to the book by J.M. Feynman titled Delay, Deny, Defend. Why insurance companies don't pay claims and what you can do about it. Well, they don't pay claims because they want to make money off of you. That's why they don't pay claims. Insurance companies should not be capitalist endeavors, and they are. They are, and it is disgusting. What insurance companies do is systemic violence. Make no mistake about it. It is systemic violence. Systemic violence is the harm that occurs when a social system or its institutions cause physical, psychological, or social damage to people. It's systemic violence. They don't want you to get care. They want to get rich. This was highly personal, I feel, for this person that did this. This probably had a loved one who was denied, a critical procedure or something. And I think all, if not most of us, understand that. Rich people don't understand it because they always get exactly what they need. They don't understand it, and they're the ones crying about the way we're acting. People are suffering because of insurance companies. They're going medically bankrupt. They're dying because although they pay a huge premium for their insurance, the insurance companies won't pay for very much. They won't pay for very much needed care. And I don't need to explain this to you. You're smart. I don't need to explain this to you. Health insurance companies are responsible for countless deaths. They are. And you will not convince me otherwise. You just won't. It doesn't matter what you say in your little comment. You're not going to convince me otherwise. The health insurance industry should be demonized because it is demonic. It's one of the most demonic things I've ever seen. If you're one of those that are saying, stop the hate, we shouldn't be celebrating someone's death. It must be nice. It must be nice to never worry about a loved one getting a benefit paid so that they can get the health care that they need. It must be nice to live in that world. It must be nice to have never been in that situation where, you have to decide between paying a critical bill or paying for medical treatment because your insurance won't cover it, even though they should. It must be nice. It must be nice to see everything in black and white, good or bad. It just must be nice to live in that fantasy world. But in the eyes of most Americans, this person that shot and killed that guy is a folk hero, and he will go down as a hero for all time. Forever, he is a hero. This CEO is responsible for more deaths than you can even imagine. So how dare you try to shame people for feeling what they feel because they finally feel like they're getting maybe just a smidge, just a little tiny bit of justice. Not much, because, insurance companies, they aren't going to change. They're never going to change. As long as we allow them to make money, they're never going to change. They're just going to put another guy out there The monster is just going to grow another head. But hopefully this event will, lead to some kind of conversation. I don't know what, but, about your average American is treated by the capitalist healthcare industry. And I'm not saying providers. Providers aren't the problem in this scenario. They're not the problem. It is these health insurance companies that are preventing providers, from doing what they need to do to help their patients. And I understand provider care and all that, and we'll get into that some other time. But one time I had to get abdominal surgery, and the doctor also discovered that I needed to have a small little repair in addition to the surgery. And this was major surgery. And so he wanted to do it at the same time because he's already got the hood open, may as well get under there and do everything that needs to be done and, take care of it right then and there. It was just something that would literally take 2 stitches. But the insurance company said no, that they will have to do that separately, which seems like it would cost the insurance company more money anyway. They said because it can be done in a outpatient facility. It doesn't need to be done at the hospital when you can do it in an outpatient facility. But he ended up doing it anyway, but the insurance company didn't, they didn't want to let him do it in the hospital, but because they were like, give her surgery, sew her back up, then after she's healed, bring her in to an outpatient center and do the repair. It doesn't make any sense, does it? It doesn't. They're so frustrating. He did it anyway. So, I don't know what really happened with that, but, but I do know that he did the little repair despite what the insurance company said, and I never heard anything more about it, so I don't know what happened there. That wasn't really a good example. But here I think I have a good example. Insurance companies are ridiculous. That was my point. But it happened to be United that tried to stop paying for my son's Neupogen that he would get after chemo. After he'd get chemotherapy, he would get shots of Neupogen for like 7 days. And they said it wasn't medically necessary. It was literally to help him produce white blood cells to help avoid infections from neutropenia. After chemo, you get neutropenic. But they ended up paying for it, but it was a fight. It really was. Oh, they frustrate me. But many on social media, they're mocking this killing. They're mocking the whole situation, which may seem to many as heartless and cold. Personally, I think denying someone life-saving care for an illness when all the power is in your hands is heartless and cold, but hey, we all have opinions, don't we? We all have our opinions. But people are fed up with being, denied medical coverage that they are paying for. They're paying for it. And they are fed up with corrupt insurers. They are fed up with an industry that profits off of the dying. They're profiting off of everybody. And I'm not going to laugh at this man's death. I'm not going to laugh at it. But I'm not going to mourn him either. Not at all. I think it's terrible when anyone passes away. Like, I don't know, cancer patients that can't get needed treatment because the health insurance and the health insurance god said no can do. He chose his line of work, and he knew he was wealthy because his company allowed the sick to stay sick. He knows that's where his wealth came from. And this is a time I will not condemn people for being insensitive. People are hurting, and it's about time that insurance companies start feeling some modicum of pain for the countless people that they have caused harm to, by denying claims, when they should have been approved. It's a heartless, soulless industry that really needs to be dismantled. It needs to be done away with. Socialized medicine, I'm all for it. The reaction people are having to this shooting is not surprising at all. People are angry and feel unheard. And this was an unfortunate thing to happen, I guess, but it has made people feel less alone in dealing with crooked insurance companies. It makes people feel like someone knows what we're going through. It is a predatory industry designed to keep the average person down while the rich get richer and the insured get sicker. It really is. And I believe it was John F. Kennedy that said, those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable. If insurance companies continue to treat people like commodities, they can expect more of this type of action. They can. So we should feel sympathy. Tell that to the mother of the autistic child who couldn't get treatment for migraines because, and it was United Healthcare that said it was part of his pre-existing condition, being the autism. This lady has to watch her child suffer with migraines because United Healthcare said no. Or maybe I save my sympathy for the millions of insured people paying out lots of money who can't get care. CEOs of those greedy companies, oh no. No. They chose the path of darkness. They did. They chose to put profits before people. They chose to get rich while the people pay them so that they can get health care. But then they can't get it. And again, they raise premiums every year and trick people into thinking it's a good deal by saying things like, oh, you'll have $10 prescriptions and $25 co-pays for doctor visits. Great. That's great. But what about that MRI the doctor needs to order that you say is medically unnecessary? And then that's not so awesome. What if you need a diagnostic mammogram? Not a routine mammogram, but a diagnostic one. Try to get one of those covered. Insurance says that's not medically necessary. Oh, because you get a mammogram. You don't need a diagnostic one. Meanwhile, you have breast cancer and it's spreading while you appeal the insurance company and wait forever for pre-authorization for that diagnostic mammogram. The patient waits while some stranger who has never seen you as a patient decides you don't need a diagnostic mammogram. It's frustrating and it's horrific. It is horrific. So, no, I'm not surprised at the lack of sympathy for this demonic murderer. He got his comeuppance, and hopefully it doesn't stop with him. And I said what I said. Those who choose to live by the sword shall die by the sword, so to speak. Systemic violence is violence, and violence usually needs to be met with violence. And that man's life was not more valuable than the many lives that have been lost because his company chose not to pay for medical care they're paying for. Insurance is a joke, and we don't owe that dead CEO a single tear. He's out of network. And you leaders, these so-called leaders out there, they better pay attention. They better pay attention because this isn't a liberal issue or a conservative issue. It's not. This isn't left versus right like they wish it was. This is where most of us come together and meet in the middle. And people are disgusted that our lives are a commodity. And most of us come together on that. And the leaders, those in charge, unity among the people is the last thing they want. That's the last thing they want. They want us divided. You know, they want us sitting on our couches watching Dancing with the Stars and, you know, be happy that they allow us to have the internet. They feel like they gave us these things so that they can do these other things. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry I got dramatic. It's just really frustrating. Thank you for listening thoughtfully to what I have to say. Kind comments are welcome. Intelligent comments are welcome. You don't have to agree with me, but nastiness to me or other commenters will not be tolerated. So I will talk to everyone later. I have a Rolling Stone interview I have to read, but I'll see everyone later. Bye.